Danger exists all around us, but there are some places where danger is more prevalent than others. So, if you are thinking about moving to another city, or you are just curious like me, you might want to stick around because today we are going to discover the most dangerous cities in the United States. What's going on, everybody? My name is Trey and welcome to my channel Just Curious, and today we are going over the top 10 most dangerous cities in the United States. This list was created by diving deep and compiling the data from more than 6 sources, including the FBI crime statistics. The cities that made it on this list came up most frequently on all of the lists and are ranked based on violent crime and various other factors related to crime. Keep in mind that the numbers don't always tell the full story, and there are obviously good and bad parts in all cities, but based on the data, these cities are technically the most dangerous. Now, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see all types of top 10s on many factors here in the US and around the world. Now, with that said, let's get started with number 10. At number 10, we have the city of Stockton, California. Stockton is located about 50 minutes south of Sacramento and around an hour and 20 minutes east of San Francisco. It's a shame that Stockton deals with so much crime because it is located only a few hours from so many great national forests and parks, including Yosemite National Park, which is one of the most beautiful places in the entire United States. Stockton has many issues, including a high cost of living, lack of employment opportunities, and bad schools. In Stockton, the total crime rate is 82% higher than the national average, and violent crime is 229% higher than the national average. In Stockton, you have a 1 in 24 chance of being a victim of crime. At number 9 for the most dangerous cities in the United States, we have Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, Albuquerque was mentioned a few times in my last video when I covered the worst states to live in the United States, which you can check out right up here. Albuquerque is a very beautiful city, and it's really unfortunate that it faces so many issues when it comes to crime. Albuquerque also ranks low in housing, schools, and employment. The total crime in Albuquerque is 171% above the national average, and violent crime is 246% higher than the national average. In Albuquerque, you have a 1 in 16 chance of being a victim of crime. At number 8, we have the city of Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee is located in Wisconsin, which was in the top 10 states to live in the US, but Milwaukee, which is the largest city in Wisconsin, is the problem child of the state. Milwaukee does have good amenities, a low cost of living, and pretty decent housing. The property crime is also surprisingly lower than other cities on this list, with it only being 39% above the national average, which isn't too bad for a city of this size. But the total crime in Milwaukee is 84% above the national average. Once again, not too bad, but the violent crime is what stands out here, being 312% above the national average. In Milwaukee, you have a 1 in 24 chance of being a victim of crime. Coming in at number 7, we have Springfield, Missouri. Springfield is the 3rd largest city in Missouri and is located near the Ozark Mountains. Some good things are that it does have a low cost of living, good amenities, and some beautiful nature, but crime is definitely an issue here. The total crime in Springfield is 261% higher than the national average, which is the highest on this list, and the violent crime is 289% above the national average. In Springfield, you have a 1 in 12 chance of becoming a victim of crime, which is actually higher than any other city on this list, surprisingly. Coming in at number 6, we have Kansas City, Missouri. Now, Kansas City is an interesting city and is actually located in both Missouri and Kansas. Kansas City is definitely famous for its barbecue and has over 100 barbecue restaurants around the city if you're into that. Now, Kansas City does rank pretty well for amenities and cost of living, which is good, but the city does rank low in housing, schools, and employment. Now, the total crime rate in Kansas City is 143% higher than the national average, and violent crime is 309% higher than the national average. In Kansas City, you have a 1 in 18 chance of being a victim of crime. At number 5, we have the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is an interesting city and is located off Lake Erie and is also home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is pretty interesting. Cleveland does have a low cost of living and quite a bit of things to do in the city, which is nice. but it does have its problems. The total crime in Cleveland is 144% higher than the national average, and violent crime is 327% above the national average. In Cleveland, you have a 1 in 18 chance of being a victim of crime. Coming in at number 4, we have Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, Arkansas is a state with many issues, and Little Rock is one of the reasons for that. Little Rock does have plenty of outdoor activities to do and a low cost of living, but the schools, housing, and employment all suffer here, which is a common theme on this list. Now, the total crime in Little Rock is 186% higher than the national average, and the violent crime is 377% higher than the national average. In Little Rock, you have a 1 in 15 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Coming in at number 3, this one's no surprise, we have Detroit, Michigan. Unfortunately, Detroit is a city that has had many issues for years and just can't seem to get things on the right track. The city is filled with over 80,000 deteriorated and abandoned buildings and ranks horribly in employment and in education. Now, the loss of so many manufacturing jobs is the main cause of the city's decline, which is very disappointing for Detroit residents. Now, the total crime rate in Detroit is 130% higher than the national average, but the violent crime is 462% higher than the national average. In Detroit, you have a 1 in 19 chance of becoming a victim of crime. At number 2, we have yet another city in Missouri, and that is St. Louis. I am very familiar with St. Louis because I have family who live in Missouri, and we actually just visited the Arch not too long ago. But from what I can tell from visiting there many times throughout my life, the city just keeps getting worse and worse, which is sad because I have a lot of good memories from St. Louis. I have to say, while I was downtown, it felt very uncomfortable even in the middle of the day. It really just doesn't feel very safe, and I think the numbers back that up. The total crime rate in St. Louis is 234% above the national average, and the violent crime is 420% higher than the national average. In St. Louis, you have a 1 in 13 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Now, before we reveal the number 1 most dangerous city in the United States, please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more top 10s like this one. Also, comment down below if you found anything surprising on this list. Now, on to number 1. At number 1 for the most dangerous city in the United States, we have the city of Memphis, Tennessee. Now, Memphis is no stranger to violent crime. In fact, a famous rapper, Young Dolph, was just shot and killed in Memphis just a few days ago while buying cookies of all things. Now, it's really sad to see the level of violence in Memphis, and I think these problems stem from the city being terrible when it comes to education and employment opportunities, which can lead a lot of people to desperate situations. Now, the total crime rate in Memphis is 237% higher than the national average, and get ready for this stat. The violent crime is 506% higher than the national average. In Memphis, you have a 1 in 13 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Okay, everybody, that does it for the top 10 most dangerous cities in the United States. Let us wish for the best for all of the residents in these cities, and I hope things start to change so the good people of these places can start having a higher quality of life. Now, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for more top 10s in the US. That's enough from me. Have a good day, everybody, and I wish you all nothing but the best.